So it's been a long time since I've made a video. I really just wanted to highlight here that we started Banks County back in, yeah, January of 2024. This was when the game was, relatively new. I honestly haven't played much Skylines. I've played on and off the rest of 2024. Lately, I've played a little bit. I do want to get back into it though, but I think I do want to address Banks County. The series wasn't really good. I never felt really comfortable with the map, but I kind of just wanted to do a quick video today just to put an end to Banks County. I'm still going to leave it up on my YouTube channel. I think it, just will be a marker of, time really and where the game was back in early 2024. But now I'm going to load into it and just do a quick little tour around and chat about what I want to do next. All right, so we are back in Banks County, and I honestly haven't logged into this in probably over a year, I think. But, we're getting all the region pack signature buildings that I guess we had in between, when all the region packs came out and everything. But yeah, there's a lot of these. So I'm just gonna click through. All right, so I think this is where I left off with doing these industrial areas over here. But really, this is where Banks County began, on this little island here. I think this honestly might be my favorite part of Banks County. The first little small town that we made. And over here on this island, I was trying to make it looks weird in hindsight because it never was completed and probably really wasn't executed that well, if I'm being honest. But what I was trying to do here was to make a walkable town with a grid on the island for the most part. And I was trying to incorporate a ring road, which I don't really know how I feel about that these days. But the goal was to limit roadway access, having like one main street really going into the downtown area. And over here, I was really attempting to do some sort of walkable neighborhood with, alleyways and things like that. But I think, the framework of the city just kind of turned out to be just odd, kind of weird, not natural. And we got a lot of traffic over here heading over towards the bridge. I remember working on the bridge and that was kind of a mess. This bridge is really tall now that I'm looking at it and really askew. Yeah, you wouldn't build a bridge like that in real life. But I guess from here, it looks okay, aside from the two columns there in the middle. I do like the truss, though. It's kind of funny looking at this now and seeing all like the original, base game assets that came out with the game. Just, they weren't really good, the game shouldn't have been released in this form. And I remember this roundabout trying to solve traffic issues here, but didn't, add any turn lanes or anything like that, or provide any alternate routes. But, we made some farms over here. These aren't the best looking farms. They're pretty basic. All these infill development in the field just look very odd. And it's interesting seeing other creators in the community, come up with much more realistic and better looking functioning farms. And this was my sad attempt at a rural neighborhood, and it I guess kind of looks like it's okay. It looks like a rural neighborhood to me, except that all the buildings pretty much look the same. They're kind of like this, I don't know, they almost look like they're like mid-century modern budget houses or something like that. This is a really long span of a bridge. I don't know if this was really necessary. And I guess I did the same thing over here too, although that's not as long. And coming over here, I was trying to make this be like the main city for this community, but I just don't like this map. This map is, what I was trying to accomplish was to build something that resembled a coastal community, like a county in eastern North Carolina, which is where I live. And, North Carolina has a lot of beautiful areas at the coast, but we do have mountains, but they're not this close to the ocean. So that was one of the things when I picked this map. I was just kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this, just with all the mountains and lack of trees, and it's just very barren, aside from this random patch of forest and that one over there. And oh yeah, I do remember that I had a bunch of forest fires over here. I guess that's calmed down. I don't know. I was feeling pretty good about, the downtown of this area in the beginning, but I think it just became something unwieldy. It just, I don't know. The vision I had in my head for it couldn't really come to fruition, really. But it was pretty fun to build, and I think had most of the city services over here in this city service complex. We had a couple schools and the cemetery too. But we had a couple schools, and they look, very basic now. And this neighborhood just kind of sticks out like a sore thumb to me. I was trying to, I remember, integrate the street networks here to make them be a little bit more seamless, and I think I was making some progress, but I don't know how I feel about this access management design. I was trying to really mimic, stuff I'd seen on Google Earth, like in Street View in the Netherlands. But I don't know if that's probably not coming across, and it just looks like a hot mess, really. And that's Banks County. It's kind of the series that never was. I think what I'm going to do is in the next week or so, I'm going to do a live stream where I'm going to try and pick out the next map for another series. So if you're interested, please join that live stream. And I think that's going to do it for this video. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and feel free to comment down below if you have any comments or any thoughts about what the next series should be. And with that, we're going to end this one, and we'll catch you later in the next one. All right. Bye.